So, hello everyone. We have had a little bit of time now to sort of decompress and sort of think back to who has qualified, who hasn't has qualified, and all of that kind of stuff. Um, we lost 6 songs tonight. We had lost Slovenia, we lost Ireland, North Macedonia, Australia. We also lost Croatia, and we also managed to lose. There's one more, Romania as well. So unfortunately, we have lost that, but we have also got our 10 qualifiers, so that is pretty good. What was your sort of first impressions of like everything that had happened today?
I feel like every qualifier that I said would qualify in the qualifier, my qualifier prediction qualified.
Mystic Jazzy.
And I was shocked that I pretty much got it 100% right, apart from I think one, which was Israel and Croatia. But her performance, I'm not surprised that she did qualify. I did feel the juries would go for her vocal, for Eden's vocal over Albina's. And I guess her Albina's televote probably just wasn't strong enough to compare with Eden's probable high jury result. So,
honestly, I know you said we were decompressing, but quite frankly, I feel like I'm decomposing.
Mood.
Honestly, I feel like I've left part of my soul in front of that television. I'm actually quite gutted. I've lost a lot of favorites, and I'm sure we will get more into things, but I'm really surprised by a lot of these results. And yeah, there's a lot to discuss here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I guess we're still going to be like this until the full results kind of come out on sort of Saturday night / Sunday morning. So we'll probably have a little bit more info on like what we think about things come the kind of come Sunday. So just bear with us till then. But I know you can't wait to know what do we think about things, but you just have to wait, okay? I think myself personally, I was quite surprised with some of the results that we were getting. I think some of them were entirely understandable, but I think we all kind of knew, especially within the prediction video that we had made yesterday, that there was roughly between 6 to 7 automatically guaranteed countries already making it through, and then all of the other countries were just fighting for those 3 spots. And I'm quite sad because I've lost a couple of songs that I did really quite enjoy, but I could see the main 2 that I'm talking about here are Australia and Ireland. The other ones I kind of had a little bit of an inkling that they probably wouldn't do that well, but yeah, I'm genuinely quite shocked with a couple of these results. So let's just kind of just go down the list of like in their performances, I guess. So the first country that performed that qualified was the opener, Lithuania. What did you make of the performance?
It's a bit of a weird one for me because I really like them and I really like their song, but towards the end of the show, I had forgotten about them. And I don't know how well that bodes for the final. Because among so many strong performances, they kind of just got swallowed up for me. I still like the song. I still think they are brilliant, but in such a strong show, they didn't stand out.
Yeah.
I think it's hard from a sort of Eurofan perspective because we've known this song since January, February time, and in Eurovision land, that's a very, very long time. And they've not really changed it much. The performance is exactly the same pretty much to what we had at Pabanda Mishnoyo. So for us, it's not like we're seeing anything new or anything memorable because we've seen this time and time again from them. And they pull it off wonderfully every single time.
Yeah.
But so I feel like from a fan perspective, the way we view it will be very different to how a casual viewer sees it. And honestly, I'm not surprised they've qualified. Good on them. Discotheque's a great song. And I really hope people like it in the final. I think this is the best entry Lithuania has sent, and I think it deserves to get their best result. And it's just whether it stands out in a year that is this goddamn strong.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that it's really quite difficult to kind of put into perspective now, especially when, like how Jesse said, I'm not gonna lie, I was in the same boat. I did completely forget that Lithuania had even performed. And then I guess that just goes to show, I guess, but if you put it in the middle of wherever it's going to be, so Lithuania has drawn second half in the final, so it could easily be put in that kind of golden slot area, should I say, of sort of 17th to 22nd. So if you put that in there somewhere, I could see it potentially still doing really quite well. I do potentially worry that it's not going to do as well as we might have hoped. But that just might be because we've seen a lot of really strong staging, I guess, from not only from this semi-final but also on Thursday's semi-final as well. It just comes down to what it's going to be surrounded by, because if it's similar kind of upbeat, somewhat dark entries, then I think this really could be kind of, not to say like dead in the water or anything, but I think its chances of winning are going to be a bit more dulled.
Say Finland qualified, they pull second half and they're sandwiched between Blind Channel and Maneskin.
It's kind of a done deal then, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, the next song that managed to qualify from this running order is Russia, Russian Woman. What did we make of it? I mean, personally, it was my number one, so I was so thankful to see that they qualified. I'm so happy that it had looked a little bit kind of a little empty on stage, I guess, because everything was kind of compacted into like a small little area, but I'm still quite happy that it managed to make it through and people have actually managed to understand the sort of authenticity of the message. So really happy here because at least my number one is in the final.
Don't fucking boast, Rory. I'm hurting right now.
Rip.
Like, yeah. But honestly, Manisha fucking killed it. She was incredible. And I can't believe I ever possibly doubted this getting through. She was just amazing. And yeah, very well deserved. And I look forward to seeing it on the night.
I said a few weeks ago that Manisha would possibly get a shock top 10. That opinion has changed because now, if Manisha came in top 10, it wouldn't be a shock. Whereas probably a few months ago it would have been, but not now.
Yeah, I think now they've kind of, like, the stage show really just kind of heightens that female empowerment message, and the inclusion of old women, young women, trans women, drag queens. Like it's just goes to show that this is all Manisha, and I'm so happy to see it doing well. And fingers crossed, she gets a good position. She's in the first half of the final. I could potentially see this potentially being an opener just because of how kooky it is, or doing a similar thing and being drawn third as a way to kind of introduce the kookiness into the whole flow. But we have to wait and see what qualifies from Thursday really to properly figure that out. Next up, Sweden. I am a little bit. I'm not necessarily that shocked, but I guess I'm kind of more shocked than I would have been if it wasn't as messy in the rehearsals. This time it looks so much slicker on stage, I thought.
I feel like the song, I think I've made no secret, is not my favourite Swedish entry ever. However, Tusa is probably my favourite artist this year. So I'm just happy for him more than anything because he is such a sweetheart and he deserves the world.
Yeah, I'm entirely unsurprised again at this qualifying, and yeah, I don't think it is the most innovative or interesting song in this semi-final, but Tusa killed it on stage. He was so charismatic. His vocals were fantastic. It had everything it needed to do well, and yeah, I have no qualms about this qualifying.
I think the thing was it was there were so many rumblings in the sort of the run up to the semi-final that Sweden could potentially be a borderline non-qualifier, and after that performance, I think it was fair to say that just wasn't going to happen. So I'm glad for Tusa and I'm glad for the H&M because we stand sustainability. But it's Sweden. It was going to do well regardless. It's typical jury bait song, I think. But yes, so the next song that qualified was Cyprus, Elena Tagrinu, El Diablo. Again, not surprised. It's very similar in the same sort of vein as Replay and Fuego. So, Cyprus were just kind of playing to their strengths. I personally enjoyed the performance. She gave a really fantastic vocal, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if they are going to change anything because, you just doing dance moves all the time, it would get a little bit sort of tedious after a while.
It's my fourth, so I really like the song. This is definitely my favorite of those Cyprus bops that they've been sending consistently. Maybe because it's a little bit more old school than the other two, and that might be a bit of the reason why. Yeah, I'm just happy this made it through. No surprises.
Yeah, also unsurprised. It wasn't in my qualifiers for this semi. As a song, I don't really connect to it in any way, but it's very well staged. Elena sounds great. And I sort of made my peace with this qualifying over something that I probably would have preferred to qualify because I can absolutely see why people go for this. And yeah, Elena did a fantastic job, and she has done in every single performance we've seen from her. She has been note perfect the entire way through rehearsals and jury shows and everything, along with doing all of those dance moves. So yeah, like I say, I'd absolutely make my peace with this qualifying, and congrats on her for giving an incredible performance.
Although I think it's just going to be a personal grievance at this point as well. We've talked about it on the podcast. We've talked about it in rehearsals as well. The lyrics, guys, come on. Can we at least interrogate them just a little bit, please? just for me. But alas, no. Yeah, next to qualify, I guess was the first kind of shock qualifier we had seen coming. And although I'm pretty sure for Jazzy it was not a shock qualifier at all, it was Tix from Norway. Jazzy, what did you think?
I'm so happy he made it. But I was a bit shocked because the semi is just so strong, and a lot of people were saying, he's not going to make it. It's one of the weaker songs in the semi. But I feel like being the only male in like lead vocal in the second half probably is what helped him. But yeah, happy that he made it through. You probably saw my cheer on the qualifiers video. I was very happy.
I was utterly shocked when he was announced first, because that sort of set the tone for the fact that we were going to have some heartbreaks in this. And yeah, like I've said, similarly with Cyprus, it wasn't one of my favorite entries in this semi. There are acts I would have preferred to qualify over it. But I can't fault anything that Tix did. He gave a great performance. He's clearly sort of like getting a good edit, I think. Like they were putting the camera on him a lot during like the breaks and things like that, which I thought was kind of interesting. Might that have helped? I don't know. It had that sort of kitsch element that I think casual viewers would really go for. And yeah, I can't fault anything about what he does. I just think there are songs that I prefer, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm kind of
felt for about a week that this is Tix's world and we're just living in it. Like, if you've not been following during the rehearsals, like, you'll understand what we mean. And tonight very much had that same vibe.
Is that because he took 20 minutes rather than 5 in the press conference?
I think so.
Oh no, he can no. Like, I love him, but no, we were too tired for that shit.
Yeah,
We want
I
to
think
sleep.
yeah. Luckily for him, he can go to bed. We got to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's going to be up all night thinking about Effendi.
Hashtag Tix Fendi, guys. Hashtag Tix Fendi. I'm making it trend.
Date at the Eurovision final.
I would be very, very interested to see if there's going to be anything that happens in that final. If anything does happen, I think it's going to be like, it could either go like Navi Band or it could go like Alinka and Alex Correa, and I'm hoping that it's the latter, purely for TV entertainment.
So which one do you think they're going to like get it onto?
Ooh.
How do you mean?
Like, Tix and Effendi, they're in the green room, they're hearing this music. What song are they going to go up to each other and have their second date listening to?
Probably Spain, because they probably think that the Spanish song is like really romantic, because the Spanish language is really romantic, but the song has a whole different meaning. And that's kind of been like their whole thing the whole way through, so I'm going to Spain.
Well, my suggestion is going to lead us very nicely into the next song that we're going to be talking about. I think they should go with The Wrong Place, to be honest. It's like, you're in the wrong place, okay? We're in the wrong place. Yes, so we might as well carry on with the next song. And the next song that managed to qualify from the running order was Belgium. And I think this was another one that was kind of a shock qualifier, but I was entirely happy about it. It's my number 2. And I just love the fact that people kind of gave this a chance. And I think given how strong all of the other performances were, I do think potentially all of the sort of strong female-led up-tempo bangers were starting to cancel each other out a bit. So this kind of gave it a little extra kind of switch up, which definitely was needed, I think, in the semi-final running order. So I'm over the moon that this has made it through. Although they have drawn first half, so I could easily see this potentially performing in second place. And we know how that usually works in second place. So
honestly, right now it's sort of between Belgium and Spain at this point.
And I don't think they would like want to like annoy the Spanish delegation by putting them second again when they only
again
have 2 contests to go.
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, what did you guys think about it?
Happy. I feel like I was saying all the way through the qualifiers video, Belgium were a safe qualifier because that performance was just, I feel like juries probably ranked them in the top 5. That's just my opinion, but I can't see a jury ranking this outside the top 5. Like, it was visually amazing. Geika's vocals were amazing. Honestly, I'm so glad this made it.
Yeah, so am I. I am a little surprised just because I really wasn't sure whether the televote would take to it. And seemingly enough of them have. And I think it's completely different to anything we've got in the competition. And I'm very happy we're going to be seeing it again in the final. I think it's great. And honestly, seeing Hooverphonic actually being sort of excited and enthusiastic about Eurovision, wow.
Who would have seen that coming? Yeah. Because I think I caught like a little bit of their press conference bit, and it said that they were like, oh, it's not just a victory for music, it's a victory for us, it's a victory for Belgium as well. And I think this is like the most optimism that I think I've ever heard Alex Callier ever say. So it's kind of like, are you okay? No. But it's still fantastic though, and I'm really glad that they've managed to make it through. The next song to make it through was Israel, Eden Elena, Set Me Free. I mean, again, another one of a little bit of a shock. I do think her vocal was a little bit shaky towards the end, but I do think that this kind of had that charisma and ooze. And I'm kind of intrigued to see where it came in the final results. I wonder if it was more of a fifth to sixth, because I don't think it was winning the semi. If it was either a fifth to sixth or a ninth to 10th, and I'd be very interested to see what was going on.
Mm.
I'm okay with this making it through because it is a good song. It's not like, oh, this is a bad song, because it's absolutely not. There was points where I thought, oh, Croatia is probably just the stronger of the two female bops. But I understand that Israel is more vocally challenging, so the juries probably gave her more props for that. So when I think about it, I'm not that surprised.
Honestly, I wasn't like overly impressed with her jury performance the other day. Like, it was okay, but there was a lot of bits where she really seemed to be sort of kind of taking it a bit too easy. She was singing a lot. She was sort of fucking about with her voice quite a lot. And I didn't think the juries would go for it. And yeah, we got the whistle notes. Great, fantastic. Like, we knew she can hit them, and she did. Like, amazing. But I am surprised. I think Albina, out of the sort of female bops, I think Albina has a stronger song and stronger stage presence, and I think her vocals were generally more consistent between the two performances. And yeah, I don't think Set Me Free is a bad song in any way. I'm just very surprised that out of such a strong semi, this made it over some of the other songs.
I think overall it was still such a strong year that, I think there was always going to be one or two that was going to cause a little bit of an upset. I do think the staging did help it a lot. I do think the neon sort of thing, the style of it was done a little bit better than Croatia. So, while the song might have been better, the staging might have been the thing to finally push it over the mark, maybe. So the next song that managed to make it through was Azerbaijan, Effendi Matahari. She gave a flawless vocal performance, and she got the crowd going very quickly. And that momentum obviously showed in the results. I do think potentially this was more of a sort of televote qualifier than jury qualifier, because it's not something that juries usually go for. But I do think it could do fairly well, but I don't think it's going to challenge like the top 10 or anything like that.
Yeah, I could see it placing about 12th of the televote, but then with the juries, like bottom 5. And we saw with Mickey, 12th of the televote and bottom 5 of the juries is not going to get you a good result.
Don't talk about Mickey without you break my heart.
That's it. Honestly, I am disappointed. I don't think Effendi's vocal performance was particularly outstanding compared to others in this semi. Again, both in the jury and in the sort of live broadcast show, I think there were errors in both of those. And I just think Effendi is a bad ambassador for the contest. I don't think she espouses the values that make Eurovision what it is. And I have a bias against that. And I am just very uncomfortable with her kind of entire presence. And I think the song itself is fine, but I find it hard to take to it when I am so uncomfortable with the sort of values that she holds and that she is very public and very open about, because I think they are antithetical to what the whole contest should be about. And yeah, it makes me upset that she has qualified over basically everyone who didn't qualify in this semi, because I think there were better singers. I think there were better songs, and I think there were better human beings.
Really just came down to it. It's like, oh,
Honestly, it's the one that has shocked me the most. And I can see why people have voted for it. It's a sort of like Yas Queen bop with enough Azeri instruments to it to make white gays think they're cultured, but like...
calling me out here. Okay. No. I mean, to be fair, I had predicted that this wasn't going to qualify purely for the fact that for the same reason that Croatia didn't end up qualifying, because there were so many bangers that they were all going to cancel each other out, and there was always going to be one fatality. I was thinking it was going to be Azerbaijan. I was proven wrong. I am going to be very interested though to see where this places, because as far as I know, I think they've gotten second half. So it could imagine if it ended up closing like the final or something, then it's like primed for like a really good result. So who knows? Honestly, again,
honestly, Azerbaijan tends to do very well with songs I don't particularly care for, and the few songs of theirs that I do like don't tend to do as well. So
the litmus test is basically, if Rosie likes it, just go with the opposite.
Probably do well. It'll probably not do very well if I like it.
Yeah. No, okay. So the next song that qualified, I am so thankful for. It is Ukraine, Shum Goe. They really had to leave them to the last moment, because it literally came down to, as you could see in the reactions and in the stream that we had, it came down to Ireland, Croatia, Australia as well, and then Ukraine as well. And then Ukraine ended up being called out, and I think everyone kind of let out a little sigh of relief, because imagine we lost both countries that had 100% qualification streak. I think that was mental. But I really liked her performance. It only dawned on me when I was in the middle of the live tweeting that basically Katerina is dressed in green and everything else is dressed in white, because she is the coming of spring. She is a tree that is growing, and then the rest of it is all white because it's winter. Why did no one tell me this before?
Absolute art.
That's so artistic and clever.
So weird, honestly. But yeah, what did you guys think of it?
This was not a shock to me. I think I was saying in the reaction video, it has to be Ukraine. It has to be Ukraine. When it was getting down to the last 2 hours, like, they're not going to announce Belgium last again. They wouldn't do that to them again. They'll announce Belgium next, and it'll be Ukraine. And I was right.
Yeah.
You really were, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very happy that this made it.
That was cruel torture from the EBU, leaving Ukraine to be announced last, because I was not prepared to lose both my number 1 and my number 2. And I can't believe that sort of a few weeks ago, before we had rehearsals and things, I was worried about this possibly not qualifying, because once they showed up in Rotterdam and we saw what their staging was going to look like, they just put on a fantastic show. And I know certainly from the comments that were being read out by the BBC commentary that we were forced to watch due to the EBU geo-blocking the live stream, it was a very divisive song. There were some really quite unpleasant comments that were read out about it, as well as some very nice ones. But I think the people who like this song really like this song, to the point that they would pick up the phone and vote for it. And if I was able to vote, I would have picked up the phone and voted for it. I'm just so happy. And honestly, such a well-deserved 100% qualification streak. And also, just someone pointed out on the timeline earlier, this is the first time we've seen Ukraine on the Eurovision stage since 2018. And how great is that? Just seeing them back and at such a strong level again. That's fantastic.
Crazy.
It is, isn't it?
That's a mindfuck, that is. I mean, I'm not going to make any, like, I'm not going to beat it around the bush. Ukraine is my stan country, and I absolutely am so thrilled that they managed to make it. You know, I was a little bit skeptical at first when the revamp came out in March because, you know, we'd all gotten so sort of accustomed to the normal version, I guess, of Shum. And then when the new version came in, it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm so thankful, honestly. Yeah, and then the final qualifier to make it through was Malta, Destiny Jimikas. Not at all surprised about this. She gave a flawless vocal performance, you know, and if anything, this is just like all of the hate that she has been getting at the moment is entirely like nullified at this point because like the way she owned that stage, the way she was able to just command everything, and like her vocal performance was flawless. She hit all of her marks, and it you couldn't fault it. You really couldn't fault it. So I'm really happy for Malta.
Yeah, I feel like it was an easy qualifier. We knew she was going to make it, and I feel like everybody's just really happy for her. And yeah,
Who didn't see this coming?
I mean, if you didn't,
then have you been like
have you listened to
living
the
in
song?
a bucket for the last
3
months?
Do you think she's actually going to do the double then?
Wouldn't put it past her.
Wouldn't put it past her, but we have some big performances from not just semi-final 2, but from the big 5 that are coming up from France and Italy, and they are going to give her a run for her money.
Yeah, it's absolutely not going to be an easy win or a landslide win, but I will not be surprised at all on the night if she does. And like, fair on her.
And one of the reasons I really won't be surprised is that it feels weird to feel that we could be going to a big 5 country this year. It's like I'm like accustomed to Malta winning because I'm accustomed to the fact that a big 5 will not win. But if she doesn't win, then they will.
It's been 11 years.
Also, we've just got a comment in actually from someone on the YouTube. Impression Q, hey from Ukraine. Dobry wieczór, obviously. Pozdrowienie for making it through to the final. That's fantastic. We're so happy for you. Slava Ukraine.
Love to Ukraine.
Yeah. Crimea is Ukraine? No, sorry, come on. It's a Ukraine thing. We got to do it. No. But obviously, you know, like when there are qualifiers, there are non-qualifiers, and you know, this is your space, I guess, to mourn about all of this, all of the songs and all of the countries that didn't make it through.
Croatia for me. I felt like the performance was on point. I feel like it's the best she's vocally delivered it, and she still didn't qualify.
Yeah,
and it's sad because I feel like this is the 1 year Croatia have tried something different, and they still didn't make it. I feel that's made me a little bit sad.
Yeah, I absolutely would have loved to have seen Croatia in the final. I think they did a fantastic job. I don't think there was anything wrong with either of the sort of judged performances that Albina did. She sounded great across both of them. She hit every note, she hit every mark. Her dancing was fantastic. And honestly, I think the song is pretty good as well. So I don't quite know what I'm seeing that other people possibly aren't seeing. But it do be like that sometimes. Gutted for Montaigne. Absolutely gutted. And I think one of the things with this is that Australia is sending something that is really quite a risky choice. And I really hope that this non-qualification is going to not prevent them from doing that in the future, because I'm so much happier in a contest where countries take risks, send something different, send something that's unique, rather than something that is very generic. And so I really, really hope that this does not put Australia off from sending something unique in the future, because it's great. And can't get away without mentioning the incredible and wonderful Miss Leslie Roy, or Mrs. Leslie Roy, or Ms. Leslie Roy, or Queen Leslie Roy, Her Royal Highness Queen Leslie Roy of Ireland, you did great. And I'm just gutted you were put in this semi. Maybe not the strongest vocals of the entire semi, but so much character, so much personality, such a wonderful song, such a unique voice. And yeah, I'm gutted, and I'm just slightly regretting not making Italy my first place now to avoid the risk of my favorite not qualifying, because the one year I don't, it happens.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I mean, as an Irish person, as an Irish guy, I have to, get on that. I think Leslie's vocals in tonight's performance were the best we had heard her throughout the past 2 weeks. She sounded vocally flawless. She sounded pretty much like as good as the studio version. So she gave it absolutely everything. And you know what? She gave her best. It's something that she can easily be very, very proud of. And I'm pretty sure that Ireland is all proud of her as well. I saw at the end of it, she literally started crying because, of all of the emotions and everything, it just gets to you, doesn't it? So I felt so, so sorry for her. If I was able to vote for Ireland, I would have, but alas, national patriotism is just such a thing. Absolutely sad for you, for Montaigne as well. I wish that they would have made it through. I think, Montaigne was very magnanimous. She put a sort of tweet up afterwards saying, "Oh, we kind of saw this coming because, it's so hard to, we were at such a disadvantage and stuff." I actually personally thought that maybe them not being there would sort of almost bring out a sort of sympathy vote because, they can't join in on the fun. So, that should be enough. But
Nope.
Alas, sorry, carry on.
Can I just give a shout out to the fact that they had Australian flags, trans rights flags, and Indigenous rights flags with them in the dressing room? We must stan.
Yeah, I think I spotted as well a bisexual flag as well. So again, just so much inclusivity, and I think Montaigne is one of the best sort of ambassadors for Australian music nowadays. And I really do hope that, she might not be in the Eurovision final, but I'm really hoping that her career is just going to take off from here because she absolutely deserves it. I think as well, we have to give credit to some of the other songs that we didn't really speak about. So Slovenia, she sounded amazing. She managed to get the whole audience really hyped, and you could tell that she was so happy with her performance. And I'm really glad that she, gave a performance that she was really proud of, because, Slovenia should be really proud of it. I had seen when the when she finished performing, I had seen a lot of people saying Slovenia being a shock qualifier. I'd be not surprised. I was like, okay, that would really disrupt things. North Macedonia, Vasil sounded amazing. He did his best.
He gave.
I feel Definitely. Like that is, out of all the rehearsals that we've seen, that was Vasil's best performance by a mile.
Yeah,
definitely. He very much fed off the crowd. You could see that you could hear in his voice, he was getting emotional at times, but I feel like that made the performance feel a lot more human than it had been feeling in the rehearsals.
Yeah, and the thing was, in the rehearsals itself, he had been struggling to reach that sort of high note at the end, and then in this one, he literally just gave everything, and you can he hit it, and he managed to sustain it for so long as well. I was so happy for him. And
there's no bad performances in this semi. Yeah. There's no bad performances.
Yeah, 100%. Also, Romania, she gave it as good as she could, and I think, given how Romania had been plagued by rehearsal problems, technical issues, in both the jury final and in all of the rehearsals in the run up to tonight, it was the cards were kind of stacked against them, and I would potentially think this could be Romania's worst placing in Eurovision history, which is crazy to think about when comparing when you think the last time that Romania was in a Eurovision final was in 2017.
With
Like that's
fucking
4
Yodel It.
of all that, and I think that's crazy.
Like, in the semis, like in 2018 they came 11th, in 2019 they came 13th. I'm not sure actually.
It might have been like 12th or 13th, but still fairly close to qualifying. And I'm not entirely sure whether or not if they were that close to qualifying this time round. But, you know,
I really, really hope she didn't come last.
Yeah. I just don't want anyone to have come last.
I know. You get so attached to them, don't you? Ugh, ridiculous. But yes, so with that is the end of semi-final 1. So I think, you know, it's been an absolute whirlwind. I'm so thankful that we actually even just got to have a night like that tonight. It just feels like,
oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, how was it for you guys that you were able to like watch it together? It was great.
It was amazing.
It was awesome. We had takeaway. It was great. Oh my God, in a room with another human being. What the fuck?
I know, what's going on? Like,
I've not done this in so long.
And you're going to do it all over again on Thursday, which is fantastic. I'm so looking forward to it. Although we can vote in this next semi-final, so I'm not entirely sure if we should be doing our predictions, but we'll cover that in tomorrow's video. We'll upload a video for that tomorrow. But I'll just double check just to see if we have any other kind of people coming in. No, we don't. Okay, so yeah, we'll end the stream here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to our opinions and watching us and sort of clicking on our articles and stuff like that, because this is just something that we've been doing for ages. That's great. Yeah, we'll be doing our predictions for semi-final 2 tomorrow in a video, so stick around for then. And yeah, shall we all say goodbye?
Bye. Go get some sleep.
Yeah, no, we need to get some sleep now.
And so does anybody who's watching this.
Sleep, love, amnesia. Rip, honestly. Right, bye-bye.
Bye.